Hello, 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 and welcome to the Spoken Heart Discussion Hour. I am Spicy Gray, your host for today, and we have something very tasteful for you. We know next month, October, is Domestic Violence Month, but we have a special guest for you today that we have to get the story out, and we ask that y'all share this live and help us to bring justice for this young lady. At this time, right now, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in our cast members. So, all the way from Austin, Texas, co-host Dwight Robinson. Also from Austin, Texas, our assistant co-host Tanise.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. How we doing?
Good. Really, really good.
I missed y'all. I really
Been a
did.
while.
I've been for like 6 months now. It's been a while and it's been
Yes.
long, but I mean, I'm glad to
This
see your
all
faces again. We
all the
also,
stuff that's been going on.
I
Whew.
know, I know. Um, we do also have our two interviewers that's out today. King D is out ill. We ask that y'all say a prayer for him that he gets well. Also, Keisha was unable to make it in, but she hopefully will be in next week. We don't know the topic for next week yet. We will be discussing that, but make sure you stay tuned to my page and we'll be posting the flyers. Now, y'all ready for today's discussion?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring in our new guest for now, Ms. Davana. I know she's gonna correct me by saying her name wrong. I think she told me it's correctly pronounced Davana Sterling. So all the way from Austin, we're bringing you Davana Sterling.
Hi,
Hi, how we doing?
good. How are y'all doing?
All right.
Thank you for coming in. Now, how do you pronounce your name correctly? Because I know I probably just messed it up.
It's okay. It's Davana.
Davana, that's beautiful. Now, what we're going to do right now, before we actually dive into the story behind you, could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Because I know you're a business owner. I know that you're also in the medical field, but could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and everything?
Yes. I grew up in Rockdale, Texas. It's a really small country town, like on the outskirts of Austin. Pretty much, I just kind of paved my way through life. I'm still fairly young. I work very hard through everything that I have at this point. I went to Prairie View for a little bit, studied psychology, and then I left school. Ended up going to school again for medical assisting, which I did graduate. And right now, I'm currently doing sleep studies. And that's something I'm also pursuing career wise. I feel like it's good to always have education in my back pocket, along with me pursuing acting and my business. So, really, I just try to keep myself really busy and focused. Since again, I still am fairly young and I don't have any children yet. So, I just feel like right now I'm kind of I'll sleep when I'm dead type of thing.
Okay, okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, with your business, could you fill us in a little bit about it, what you do, and how they benefit the community?
Yes. So my business, I started a couple years ago making facial and body soap. And also like lip care products. I've just always been really adamant and proactive about my skincare. And sometimes when you're young and you don't have a lot of money or, your parents may not be able to help you out and stuff like that, it's really hard for you to find high end or pricey skincare products that actually work. So my idea was to just kind of help people out that aren't able to afford those high-end skincare products. And my products are actually beneficial. They do work. I make all of the bars and products fit to your specific skin type. You can ask me questions about it. If you have oily, combination skin, sensitive, all of that, I really fitted to your liking. I've had people out of the state even purchase products from me. So really that is continually growing and I hope one day it's a national business.
All right.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been doing this business here, and what inspired you to get into it?
So I've been doing it for, I'd say maybe 3 years now. Really, whenever I came home from Houston, I had major setbacks in my life. So whenever I did come home, I pretty much had to start all over. And me being so into skincare, I'm always looking for the next best thing or things to keep breakouts down and stuff like that. I really just felt like, why don't I get into something that I know I'm good at and something that's going to make me happy where I don't necessarily feel like work, that's going to support me and also support my family in the future. So something like that is what I'm really working towards. And also just having the motivation to be my own boss. That's really the incentive behind it as well, is to be able to empower other people to do what makes you happy and also benefit others as well.
Okay, now as we spoke on, you also work in the medical field. Do working in the medical field and also doing these products for, people's skin and everything. How do you find that working together? Because I know some people say, well, I do it because the hypoallergenics, or in order to further, my education in what I'm doing in my business. Can you tell us, does that kind of benefit you in any way with what you're doing in your business with the medical field?
So I say right now, it's kind of like if I bring it up to people necessarily that mention they have skincare issues, like if we're talking about something off topic, or I just kind of see certain things, I always try to bring it up to people when I can, especially if they have, noticeable skin issues, or I feel like maybe it may benefit them to know about it. So I feel like it does tie in together sometimes whenever people go into the topics about it. So I do say that's a really good area for me to also educate people on skincare as well.
Okay, let me see if Denise or Dwight have any questions for you on this as well.
Hmm.
T-
Well,
Denise.
I have one. I know that she does extra little things in the background, so I'm not going to share unless she wants to share those things on her other ventures outside of medical field and her business.
So those other things, I am an aspiring actress. I'm in two movies. It's called 10 Reasons Why Men Cheat. It's a rom com. It's very funny. I feel like everybody's going to love it. It's very different and entertaining. And then the second movie, it's called DGK, Double Kill. It's kind of like a serial killer, kind of like suspenseful type action type of movie. So it's been really good for me to be able to work with these directors and upcoming artists and actresses and gaining and expanding my knowledge in those areas. It's been a very fun journey for me in acting. I feel like I'm a jack of all trades. I'm always trying to do something to, excel and benefit myself. So that's going to be pretty exciting to look forward to. I've already seen the first movie and it was just really exciting to even see myself on a movie screen. So I really look forward to continue working with Joseph and, really building myself up acting wise.
Can you tell us where we can go locate your movies, the movies that you're in?
Yes, so the movies are going to be out on the app Tubi. It's a free movie app. You can just sign up. You don't have to pay to subscribe. They have tons of great movies on there. If you want to kind of get a feel for what these movies are kind of going to be like, make sure you check out Gutter. It's already on Tubi. It's directed by Joseph Elmore. He also has another movie coming out in October, which is called Platinum. It's a sequel. So those are going to be out on Tubi, Amazon Prime, Peacock, things like that. So just make sure you follow me so you can kind of stay up to date on when those will be released.
Okay, can you give them a can you give them your link?
So you can follow me on Instagram. That's majorly where I post most of my information. That's gonna be Belaire, Belaire 2_12.
Awesome. You
Okay,
know I'm gonna
great.
go snoop. I'm gonna go look.
Okay.
The why we can't hear
I
you.
was I was gonna ask that same question. Teresa already beat me to it on to see where no movies either on, YouTube or something like that. So, but yeah, I'll have to check that out myself. Definitely want to see the movie.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I
So
kind
I
of see.
know her. I met her at work.
Yeah, I kind of peeped on, because y'all know I like to research and I go behind scenes to check things out behind. I mean, she's done great. We actually did. She did a duet with me on TikTok. So yeah, she got that skill.
All right.
So I
All
can't wait
right.
to
All
see the
right.
movie. So we'll
Me
what we're
too.
gonna do now. We're gonna take a small break, and we're gonna go with a commercial break from Small Set Apart, and we'll be back right after this.
Good afternoon. This is Johnny from Employed by Nobody, serial entrepreneur, proud black business owner, and so my set apart is a part of my story. It raised me. It runs through my veins. I'm so proud. I'm so inspired. I'm just so happy to see the legacy continuing, and I support my set apart.
Hello, family. My name is Sishman Rimson. I am the CEO of SMR Security Services. I'm also a regional vice president with Primerica Financial Services. Look, guys, I'm making this video for one reason and one reason only, and that is because I am blessed to be in business and partnership with Summa Set Apart. The owners of that company are my friends, my brother and sister in Christ. Listen, I support Summa Set Apart, and guess what? You should too.
Hello, it's me, Chef Tish. I'm the owner operator to this homestyle cooking. I'm always rocking that Samai on y'all daily. I support Samai Set Apart.
My name's Warren G with the Young Millionaire in Training, financial coaching and financial literacy platform, and I support Samai Set Apart.
Hi, my name is Sierra Parker, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pointing in My Purpose nonprofit organization. I'm so proud that my organization is partnered with Semi Set Apart. Thank you guys for being such amazing people. I support Semi Set Apart.
Hey y'all, it's Brother Freddie, Mr. 50, Mr. 5. I'm stepping in from the shoe shop with day one, Semi La Familia. And I'm just stepping in to say that myself and the family, we support Semi Set Apart.
Love you, Uncle Drop.
I'm Donald Mays, and I approve this message.
Okay, please do not forget that next month is Domestic Violence Month. And if there's anyone that wants to come on and be a guest and tell their story and how they was able to break the chains of abuse in their life, we ask you to send a request form to the Unspoken Heart. Make sure you put the Unspoken Heart 70 at AOL.com. And we will take a consideration to bring you in so you can have your story aired. Thank you. Okay, we're now going to get into the purpose why we're here. And if you would, I'm trying to make sure I say your name right. Davana?
Davana.
Davana. Okay. Davana, can you tell us a little bit about, because, like with myself and us others, we all experience abuse in some sort. And a lot of people don't understand it's not just physical, but it's also verbal, emotional, and mental. So neither one is better than the other because they all could kill. But could you kind of fill us in on your story with domestic violence?
Yes. So Pretty much, I was in a relationship with my abuser for almost 2 years. Our relationship, it wasn't all that great. It was kind of toxic. There were some, underlying issues and things that just, never went in the right way. And pretty much, one day I went down to the border of Uvalde with him. He is a state trooper. So whenever they would go travel or they would be having to do certain tasks, I would go stay with him. And this particular day that the incident happened, we pretty much just got into it about, I felt like he was hiding and was texting people on his phone and doing type of things, cheating on me and stuff like that. And it kind of just went left. Me and him ended up getting into two physical altercations, and it led to some really horrible events happening. And so, that whole situation and me leaving out of the situation, I called back to Uvalde after I left and I made a police report. They had me go back down there and do a video statement. They took pictures of my face and everything like that. And, there was a case against him. The charges were a third-degree felony, assault against a family member with impeding breath. Those were what he was supposed to be, I guess, charged with. And as time went by, I was dealing with a lot of mental and emotional trauma. I just wasn't mentally well. Sometimes it still bothers me here and there. And I just, kept trying to check on the case, get updates from the victim coordinator there in Uvalde. And every time me and her talked, she would just kind of be giving me the runaround, just telling me it's, it's still pending or they haven't gotten to it yet. And my whole thing about it, I just felt like being a victim in this situation and how serious it was, I felt like they were kind of sweeping it under the rug because he is a state trooper. And I felt like, well, who's going to believe me anyways? Because even when I initially called back to Uvalde and made the report, the detective was telling me that they wanted me to come back because how do they know if I didn't run into a pole 2 months ago and have gotten these bruises? And even though the pictures had timestamps and locations, everything like that. So I just felt like they weren't necessarily even believing me or caring about what I was saying. I ended up talking to the DA over the phone, and whenever I was trying to explain to her why I was so consistent on trying to get information on the case, I really felt unsafe all the time. I was paranoid. I didn't know where he was, if he was going to, try to hurt me again. I didn't know, what could happen. So I was trying to get an understanding of why it was taking so long for them to do something. It's not like they initially arrested him and he like bonded out and we're waiting for it to go to trial or get more information. Nothing ever happened. So I just kind of felt like they failed me. And whenever I was trying to explain the DA these things, she was like, oh, I have cases that are a year old. You care more about what he does than I do. I could care less. And I was like, how can you talk to a victim in a situation like this, like that? And she kind of was like, I'm not going to argue with you. And she hung up on me. And after that, I got a letter in the mail 2 weeks later saying that the grand jury in Uvalde found the case as a no bill. Like there was not enough evidence for it to go to trial or for him to be arrested. And at that point, I kind of just gave up. I felt like there was nothing else that I could really do about it. And I felt like the DA was just sending me that letter after our phone altercation about it. I just felt like she was going to show me that she didn't like care about it. And it was really, unfortunate. And at that point, I kind of just have been trying to, handle the situation myself as far as just going day to day, trying to handle my emotions and just keeping myself busy. And I say maybe 2 months ago, I don't know how, but a inspector of attorney general out in Dallas, he called me and told me that he had all of my pictures and he had my statement from the case and he wanted to know what happened. So me and him had a phone interview about it, and he actually had me. I wrote like a 5-page paper about the incident, and he had me go get an affidavit notarized, and I sent that to him. And the last I spoke to him, maybe a couple of weeks ago, he told me that that is still under review because there's so many similar cases. So, now we're at this point. Spice has given me the opportunity to, express and just get my story out, and hopefully some justice can come from this.
Okay. I really thank you for bringing your story to us. Denise is the one that gave me the call immediately when she
Yes.
so but I do have a lot of questions because and comments. But
Mm-hmm.
can we start off on first because he is a state trooper. And I feel like I don't care what branch of service you work in. If you commit a crime, you should be punished just like everybody else. But
Mm-hmm.
could you kind of tell us how did y'all meet?
Yes. So one day, my cousin, she's a girl. She was kind of just like posting stuff about, if you're my cousin, send me a picture of you. I'm gonna just post you on my Snapchat story and shout you out, stuff like that. So I sent her a picture of me, and she, posted me on her story. And Malik ended up adding me on Snapchat and sent me a message. And initially, I didn't know who he was, so I kind of like asked my cousin about him, and she said that they used to like have a little fling when they were doing like summer track, and I wasn't really comfortable talking to him because I didn't want to like, and my cousin talked to him. I don't really want to talk to you. Like that's kind of weird. Um, but we were having a little conversation, and I saw on his story that he was like in this uniform. I was like, oh, he's a cop. Like I don't know about that. Um, but he was really a gentleman at first. And my cousin, she was kind of like, oh, me and him, it wasn't really a serious thing. If you guys want to talk, that's fine, whatever. So me and him started talking. Um, I say maybe a week went by, and he actually came to my apartment and stayed with me a couple of days. And we were just really getting to know each other and stuff like that. So then, from him coming and staying with me those couple of days, our relationship kind of just grew more, and it kind of happened a little fast as well. And ever since then, we were, pretty much together.
Okay. So if you can recall, when was the first time that he put his hands on you and what went through your mind?
So that actual incident was the first time that he's like actually, ever put his hands on me. But before that, like it would just be little things that he would do, like, if I was nagging at him about something, or, I was just going off on him about something, he would always like try to put his hand over my mouth and like tell me to be quiet and stuff. He was just always doing little stuff like that. One time I remember I did go to his hotel room when he was on one of these trips, and he kind of did the same thing, like acted like he was choking me and was like telling me to, like be quiet. And I was just like, like get off of me. What are you doing? I always be like get off of me. So he would do little things like that. He's never like actually tried to hit me, but he would do those type of things.
Okay. And Denise?
Hmm. Did you have some like warning signs when you before anything that you look back on right now? Did you have any warning signs before anything ever happened?
As far as like abusive, or just him like just
Like
not being.
like red flags. Like if you see some red flags that you said something not quite right.
Yes. So when we did first get together, he was 25, or no, he was 24 at the time. I was 20. And he has three kids and three baby mamas. They're all very young and close in age. And
Mm.
the kids weren't necessarily an issue, but then it was like I could never trust him because he had so many baby mamas, and they all had, he had different kids and stuff. And every time I would call him, he would always put his phone on do not disturb. I feel like he was always lying or he was still messing with his baby mamas. I never could trust him. So there were a lot of red flags in that type of sense where I just felt like he was always doing stuff behind my back. And it was just always like, why are you always putting your phone on do not disturb, things like that. He just was kind of, suspicious.
Mm. With that being said, I think I was leaning more towards like with his language, with the language that he spoke to you in moments where when y'all first were together, were there things like that you saw that you might have thought you should have paid attention to?
Mm, I mean, he was pretty narcissistic. I feel like our, whole time being together, he, was very, he would, I feel like he would put me down. He didn't want me to be as confident in myself anymore when we got together. I was
Mm-hmm.
always really depressed. I was always crying. He was always trying to, I remember one time he told me, you need me. What are you going to do without me? Nothing, like stuff like that. So he would kind of make it seem like, I'm never going to leave him or I need him type of thing.
And see, that's a
It's
lot with sub abusers
cliche.
when they get in the point to where they feel like they got control over a woman and that she's
Mm-hmm.
feeling worthless. They make her feel like she has no one or anywhere to
Mm-hmm.
go. So these are kind of the signs where abusers do try to imprison you, more or less. Would you agree?
Manipulate.
Yes. Even to the point to where, you're not talking to your family, you can't talk to friends, he's keeping time schedules on you. And so, these are some red flags. And I know that's where Tenise was coming from. Like sometimes we get in situations to where we really just don't see the red flags until we actually
Mm-hmm.
out of it. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm gonna ask you, was there anybody like a friend or family that saw from the outside that you couldn't see to where it was like, okay, something ain't right about this guy?
Yeah, it was always my mom. Every time I would tell her stuff, or I'd like, oh, me and him broke up, like he's doing this and this, and my mom just always tell me, like, just leave him alone. You need to leave him alone. He's not good for you. It's not healthy relationship. You just need to let him go. She would always tell me that, and I just, of course, didn't listen to her.
I think that's what all of us when it come down to our parents,
Yeah.
because we don't want them to be right about anybody. We just want to make it seem like, oh no, they're gonna be wrong. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. You know. So I'm gonna go over to Dwight so he can ask you some questions.
Well, one thing I want to say, the red flag incidents, not saying all officers, police officers, troopers are like that, but to me, when they're young like that, you say, I think he was he was 24, 25, right?
Yes.
He has three baby mamas with some kids. That's a big red flag there. Two, I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of young men that are in the law enforcement, they have to be They're usually players. They meet women all the time, and
Mm,
a lot of women love men in uniform. And him being young and a handsome young man, to be honest with you, he's gonna have more than one woman
mm.
and everything. I've seen that happen a lot with some young men that's in law enforcement and everything. So, but him with the babies and everything, and the three different mamas. That if I was your friend or your dad, I would tell you straight up. That's a big red flag and everything. And a lot of young people in
Good.
this uh, state police, the police officers on the job, they go through a lot of, I guess, anger dealing with the public, and usually they are bringing home with them
Yeah,
and
and I have
everything.
to agree with him to a state because my thing is that I was a military brat. I was that ex-dependent wife, and we seen so much. And I mean, in my opinion, unless you a settled man in the upper ages, I don't think
Hmm.
the younger breed should be in relationships because they see in a different world, a different experience, different things going on, and you hear that the rates in when it comes down to the military is higher, and domestic violence. So it's like, they do come into stuff like that. And so it's like with the military, it's a lot more, it's harder to say that I could actually be in a faithful relationship, because you do come against it, especially the European countries where you have these women, and I can speak on this because I've experienced it. You have these European women that they go after the American men because what they want to get over here to the United States because they feel like it's a better living over here. So you do run into that as well. So I apologize for that. I'm gonna block that person. We have these little robots that come in here and they like to distract the host and people's show. But anyway, as in when you say with your mom, we know with her parents, they protective. You know what I'm saying? So it's like later on we be like, okay, I should have listened. But we gotta look at one out of two. Either our mothers are still going through it and they don't want us to go through it, but they don't know how to get out of it themselves because they haven't got help for themselves. Or two, we have that mother that sees something within
She
that guy
knows.
and she has that intuition like, baby, this is not right for you.
Mm-mm.
You know? So coming to this, when we talk about the police department, what was your feeling when you went to the police department? Because I know at that time you felt that you could protect, that they would protect you, which it took me a long time myself to trust the police department because my experience with the police department, and I felt I had nobody to protect me or nobody there. Now I know your victim's advocate response from what we talked was totally different than what I got here in Texas. And I want you to kind of tell us, and I mean, don't leave anything out because these people need to be exposed. Because if you're in a profession to protect and serve, then you need to fulfill that. If you cannot fulfill that vow, you need to get out of that field. Bottom line, because domestic violence, it used to be on the back burner. It's no longer on the back burner. We have many advocates now that's breaking a silence, standing the ground to bring this forward. And as I've said before, enough is enough, especially in the police department, because a lot of things we don't realize, there's also abuse going in within the police department. And I agree with you. And I personally feel that they protecting their own, which is wrong. And this is the problem. And this is why it's not going to stop until the chief of the police put his foot down, or that district attorney or that mayor put their foot down and say, this stops right here.
No
So,
more.
tell us, what was your feeling when you went in there and then when you left and your response was totally different than what you thought it would be?
Yeah, so I even waited to call you about it and tell them what happened until I actually left Malik's hotel, because I was scared that I was up there and there was a whole bunch of other state troopers like in the hotel with us. And I felt like if I were to try to like go tell them while I was there with him, I felt like he was just going to lie on me and tell them that, oh, I tried to attack him type of thing, and they would believe him over me. And I feel like they were, I'm way 4 hours down at the border and I was the only one there. I felt like they were just going to try to flip the script on me, and, it wouldn't go so well. I feel like they just wouldn't believe me. But when I did call and I gave my statement, I kind of felt like the officer, I don't remember his name, that initially took my statement, he was a little bit hopeful, and then it went to the detective. I believe his name was Detective Rodriguez. He was the one that called me, and I remember our phone conversation. I honestly felt like he was trying to set me up or something, because I kept asking them, like, why did I need to come all the way back down there? And, I had pictures with timestamps and stuff. And he was like, well, I mean, we need to see you and make sure that, how do we know if you didn't do this 2 months ago or you ran into a pole or something like that? And just the way his tone and the way he was saying stuff, I just kind of felt like sketchy about it. But then I was like, okay, well, maybe he is trying to help me, because I was expressing to him, I felt like he was kind of sounding sketchy to me. And he was like, no, we're trying to help you. We want to try to make sure we have everything so we can help you So I did end up making the trip all the way back to Uvalde. And when I did do, I was in the office with him, and he had a camera set up and everything. And he was just really listening to me tell my side of the story. And he told me that he said that he spoke to Malik's sergeant, and his sergeant made him go back home, which Malik was, he just started working in Houston. So I guess he went back to Houston. So I feel like, okay, well, maybe they're trying to do something if they made him go back home. So, after the video statement, I felt confident in that the case was like going to be moving in the right direction. But after that, a couple of weeks and time was going by, and I wasn't hearing anything from the detective. And I called him, and he told me that, oh, the DA, they have the case now. So that's whenever I called the DA's office, and I started speaking with Amanda Fuentes, which was the victim coordinator there. She was supposed to be helping me with, just being a guide and updating me throughout the process of the case and giving me outlets for therapy and stuff like that. But I did not feel like she was as helpful as she should have been or could have been.
Now, in my opinion, she did not do all that she was supposed to do. She did not do her job, because with the criminal advocacy, I know when I went through it, they didn't just provide for, shelter, gas, food, or whatever, but they also had protection for me. And my thing is, she supposed to give you resources. They supposed to help you, assisted you to get the protective order or restricted order. That's what she's supposed to have done. And in her field, the way it sounded like to me, they not only don't take domestic violence serious until something serious happened, but they just blew it off as if another victim that's going to go back. And this is what I'm feeling from it. But no, she needs to be called out on what she done, and she needs to do her job and correct it. Now, was you ever able to talk to the chief of police or anything, being that you felt like that these two people was not helping you?
No, the only people I spoke with was Amanda, the victim coordinator, and then that led to me speaking to the DA, Christina Busby, and our conversation did not go well at all. I'm not sure whatever the victim coordinator was telling her about, me being upset about it, but, our first conversation over the phone, and she was very rude about the whole thing. And I would be calling Amanda, and I would, be constantly telling her that I was worried, I was paranoid. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's, going to try to do something to me. It was just a lot. And I just felt like she just never was listening to me. And so when me and Christina spoke, and her telling me, she could care less, I care more about what he does than she does. And she has cases that are a year old. I was just like, why would you be speaking to a victim in a situation like this? Like, how would you feel if it were you or one of your daughters or something? And she just said she wasn't going to argue with me over the phone, and she hung up on me. And then after that, that's when I got the letter in the mail, like 2 weeks later, from her. She signed it saying that the jury found it as a no bill and there wasn't sufficient evidence for it to go to jury. So I just felt like she was being nasty about the situation, and she just did that. She sent me that letter to just be done with the case. Like, I'm not going to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, the way it looked like she didn't want to be bothered. But
No.
I could speak for her. She, if it was her child, she'd be going to the full lengths. I'm gonna tell you right now. But being
Mm-hmm.
that you're not her child, she could care less. Okay. My thing is that her attitude, she should have been reported to. I think it's called an IG, and that's who she should have been reported to. They would have
Mm-hmm.
pushed after her, and she could have lost her job, because saying that you don't care, And then if
She's
something would
still
have
there.
seriously happened, that would have been she would have been a part of that problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
She supposed to give you resources. They supposed to help you get into counseling, which counseling for domestic violence victims, whether men or women, is free. It's no charge at all.
Mhm.
And if she didn't want to be bothered with it, then she needs to retire.
Yep. I
That's just
think
the
it's
bottom line.
I think it's because of her age,
Yeah, they
and
think
she
it's
thought, oh well,
young and
she's
dumb, and
young. And
yeah.
don't, she don't know nothing. She won't get no resources. It doesn't matter. She'll get over it.
See, I was young too. I was your age when I first went to
Hmm.
them. And that's how I know so much about how they supposed to act. And when I said that I didn't like the police department at first because when they were called, they sat outside smoking a cigarette, laughing, cracking jokes, and making bets. And when I say bets, they was exchanging money on me going back. They didn't take it serious. When he pulled a gun on me, they still didn't take it serious. But
Hmm.
when I went to her name was Connie down here, and I went to victim advocacy. She didn't play. She even put my own dad in his tracks the way he was talking to me because
Mm.
it's verbal abuse is no better. So my thing is,
It
I want
lasts
to
a long
say,
time.
my thing is because this is one of their own. They want to protect him,
Hmm.
and they don't want it to be out about him.
Mhm.
So I know you mentioned something about instead of penalizing him, they moved him. Did I hear that correctly?
So, because he went to Uvalde, like they were doing border patrol, and all that stuff. So he was stationed in Houston. He just transferred to Houston from Shiner, Texas, by Gonzalez, and he
Mhm,
transferred to Houston.
mhm,
So then they were like traveling to Uvalde to go border patrol. So they were down there, like they were going to be down there for I think a couple of weeks. And
mhm.
the detective told me that his sergeant made him go back to Houston from Uvalde.
Mm. And why was he
Hmm.
made to go back? Was it because of the reports that you was putting out?
Yes, so I believe the detective spoke with his sergeant about the situation, and then his sergeant talked to him and made him go home.
Yeah, because I know you submitted in writing, and I think this is what you said you sent to Dallas. I know they blurry. I really didn't want the in that story. I wanted you to tell it instead. And these are official documents that she submitted into them on this, including with pictures. And these here pictures not really in depth because as pictures keep getting passed by, they do kind of lose its value, the way it's supposed to appear. Because I've seen mine for the police department, and it was totally different. So my thing is that I wanted to speak it because I know there's some people out there that's probably going through or not going through. As you've seen, there's a number scrolling by. So if you know anybody that's in trouble, that's being hurt, or could be in danger, there's a number strolling by. There's also the 800 number as well. And if you need counseling, do know that there are resources that doesn't cost you. Because at the time I had no money because my ex-husband had took all the money out the bank. But the one thing I want victims to also understand is that, and it's crazy because even though I listen to your wording to them, and they don't, when you use those type of wordings, they don't take it serious. And the correct wording they looking for is that you're in fear of your life.
Yep.
Because even though you use those words there, those keywords, you're thinking that okay, they know that this man is trying to harm me. That harm me, they take it very lightly because they're like, okay, what do you mean? He's gonna just slap you around, or he's gonna beat you a little good, a little bit, a little bit. But when you say, look, I'm in fear of my life, he's going to kill me. That's when really the red flags throw up.
Yeah.
So a lot of
It's
us look for
definitely
we
going
we
to
might
do something.
yeah, they look for, and I mean it's crazy, but they look for particular wording. That's like
Hmm.
with the military. There's a specific way that you have to word things to get the attention of the government. You know, so I know you didn't know that. I didn't even know that at that time because I was your age, and the way they treat you only because you're young is really inhumane to me. So I want people to know that. But Dwight, I'm gonna let you asked her a comment on this here.
I was just curious. He had three other women in his life. I wonder if he ever put his hand on either of those three women before anything like that. Two, I wonder if you can get a lawyer that can help you see to go after this man for charges, since it seems like certain people are covering up for him. You might have to get your lawyer to maybe come in there and help you out with this.
Yeah, honestly, with the three other baby mothers, I would wonder the same thing if maybe he, have hit
Mhm.
them before, maybe they were just protecting him.
Right.
And he also had a twin sister, so it was just him and his sister. And even after it happened, I tried to send his mom and his sister the pictures of my face and even tell them,
Hmm.
like, this is what your son is doing. They all feel like, oh, he's a state trooper, he's just like the perfect son, things like that. And I just want them to just acknowledge like what I've been going through. And his mom and
Hmm.
his sister blocked me on Facebook. Like I couldn't even, the messages didn't even send, I guess because he, told them about it. So
Of
I really,
course.
like, even his family, of course, were, going to take up for him. And
Right.
his
Yeah.
baby brothers, I never met them or anything like that. I honestly felt like he was still, having relations with them. But I
Hmm.
honestly, deep down, feel like he, may have been putting his hands on them as well, especially
Yeah.
how
I think
it
so.
was so
Yeah.
easy for him to even, hit me.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I believe he has. Anybody that does that has to have some type of pattern.
Yes,
But
they do.
I hate to put it like this. When it comes down to parenting, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, because we love our children so much. To me, you're not a mother or a father when you're harming your child by protecting them from what they're doing wrong.
Hmm.
You're not helping them. You're aiding them to become a man
Worse.
that's going to do something worse, even put
Hmm.
somebody's child 6 feet under. This is why I wanted to bring the story forward, because something's got to be, exposed and done for the fact that he does not do this to another woman or another woman's child. Because God
Hmm.
forbid he run into the to that one man and you put your hands on his child, and then you're going to really regret it. So, I don't doubt that he has not put his hands on other women. He's probably also seen it within the home of his parents coming up, and that's probably where he's getting it from. But before we go to our second break, um, do you have any more questions for her? And then we're gonna come back with Denise with her questions and comments.
Um, not this time, but I truly believe that if it's so easy for him to hit her, if it's easy for a man to hit a woman, period, I'm pretty sure he had before. It's not his first rodeo, and too. I'm not trying to say it's a young thing because old men do too, but like I said, you see this a lot in the police, military. The military don't play. A lot of them don't play that, putting your
No.
hands on your wife or
Mm-mm.
girlfriend. So that's why I'm kind of like battled that they taking their time with this case and like they trying to protect, But I'm pretty sure it's not his first time putting his hand on a woman. I think that.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it is either, Dwight. And the way I
I
feel about
agree.
this is like, not only are they protecting their very own, but
Hmm.
they victimize the victim. If
Hmm.
you understand what I'm saying, instead of making him stop, because I know in the military, no, the military doesn't play that at all. Domestic violence is a total no in the military.
No,
Hmm.
no,
You
no.
can get kicked out for that. But for this Uvalde country, it's enough what we heard about what happened with the children and how the police department was negligent in that situation. Now,
Mhm.
seeing this and it's Uvalde again is like,
Yeah,
what the hell is going on with y'all department?
What are y'all
right.
doing? What are you doing?
This seemed
I
like
think
a
that,
really sorry department, police department. I wouldn't even want to move down there
yeah.
because first, your police department, look how they handled the situation with the school shooting. Now to hear this about domestic violence when a woman comes to you for protection, and this is how the district attorney and the police department treat her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like if anything, that whole the police department needs to be emptied out and reevaluated for new officers that actually could fulfill their duties,
Right.
and that includes
That's
the
true.
district attorney.
Especially what exactly that
Yeah,
one. You said the right one.
yes, because I would love to talk to her. But what we're gonna do, we're
Mm.
gonna take a short break, and we're going to look at one of the commercial breaks on Davana's. I'll get it together. Davana's business. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
And being able to help those people that really have, acne issues or eczema or, acne scars or dark marks and things like that, where they feel less confident in themselves, skincare wise, skin wise. I really wanted to be that outlet for them. I really wanted to be able to be that, small local business that is affordable, that actually works, and that I, do make the products fit to your skin. I do have a product list. You have combo skin, sensitive skin, dry skin, oily skin, all those things. I have products. I have vegan products. I also have signature Go Milk bars that can also be mixed. I do have a lip scrub and also a lip moisturizer. I call them a Paradise Duo. You can also get them separately, which retail at $6. Most of my bars retail at $10. If you want like multiple, scents or oils added, could be maybe $2 or $3. But it's all very affordable versus you going and buying a, name brand skincare that's probably going to cost you about $60 or 30 bucks or something like that, and it's not that much good of a quality. I've had a lot of reviews that people really enjoy my products, that it's really helped their skin out, and my goal is to just have my business growing more and more, and to really elevate in that area of skincare and being able to help those people that may not be able to afford those high-end skincare brands, and they also are going to be able to see valid results in their skin. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for supporting me and, just being part of my business journey with me. And DM me for any questions. I'm currently working on getting a new website done. So it's kind of under construction. I had an Etsy site, but we're working on something bigger and better. So thank you so much again. It's your girl Bel Air, and hopefully you check out Bel Air Beauty on Instagram. DM me for any questions about your skincare, and thank you so much.
And that's Bel Air with one L. But if any business owners are out there, we support all small businesses, no matter what they are. If you want to have your business advertised here on our show worldwide, just email me at the unspokenheart70 at AOL.com or either inbox me on Messenger. Now, Davana, we're going to get more into what you're going on now because I know you mentioned that you recently seen him. Is that correct?
So I wasn't really sure if it was him, but it looked a lot like him. I just didn't get really close enough to tell, but I felt like in my gut that it was him, and I just kind of ran out. There's this barbecue place at the clinic that I used to work at across the street, and I went in there one day. There were a bunch of state troopers in there. Um, and there was one particular person that just kept like sticking out to me, and I was just like, that looks like Malik. Like, what if that's him? And I didn't want to like actually go in there to see because I was just still like in a paranoid state, and I just like didn't want to face him. So I just ran out of the barbecue place because I was just kind of scared. I didn't want to know if it was him or not, but it did look a lot like him. So I did feel like that one day I feel like maybe he was down there because he used to go to Austin a lot, for when they would have to go to the Capitol for stuff. So for some reason I just felt like that was him that day.
Yeah. And sometimes your gut feeling is correct, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even have to ask how are you living daily because it appears that you are living in fear of this man after what he has done and feeling like you don't have the protection of the police department. How do you feel about being that you're not in Uvalde now? How do you feel about the protection being there in Austin, Texas, or do you feel like they would treat you the same?
I feel like they would treat me the same, just because like it was such a serious charge against him, and for it to come back as a no bill and them saying that it was not enough evidence, I was kind of just shocked that they would even say there wasn't enough evidence for it to be taken to the grand jury. So I feel like I don't really have any protection, here in Austin either, and especially because the state troopers work so closely up there. I just feel like it's going to be another Uvalde type situation as well. I feel like the only person that actually did care, as far as like law enforcement, was Lieutenant Lopez, the inspector attorney general that reached out to me from Dallas.
Okay. Now the one that reached out for you from Dallas, I know Denise has something for you. The one from Dallas, what is his insight about this in the overview and what he could probably offer to help you in this situation in order to get something done?
Right. So the last I spoke with him, because the reason he had me write the affidavit and get it notarized, he was telling me that they are some very serious allegations. He did ask me, specific questions about, it's hitting each other, how many times it hit me, things like that, getting very detailed information. He was asking a lot of really good questions. And so he did say a lot of people were going to see the affidavit that I wrote. So I feel like I think he sent it to the board because he said his supervisor, like they were still, reviewing things because there's a lot of cases like it. So I don't think much has moved since the last I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. He said it was still under review, but I did feel like he did, take that step and, feeling concerned about helping me and, trying to get something done. I felt like that gave me a little bit of more hope, just being able to get something written down on paper, and knowing somebody's going to help me push this through to someone higher up and above that can possibly get this taken care of.
Well, I pray that he's able to break through these walls because I mean, being in law enforcement, I mean, they do feel like they protected and they cannot be touched, which, I see it as, yeah, they can be touched. Because my thing is if it, which I pray it doesn't, come to the point to where you have to protect yourself, then what? You know, Denise, you have something for her before we go to Dwight?
Of course. Of course I do. Everything you're going through right now, because I know that because when I spoke to you that for that first time, that I knew I needed to do something. I saw a lot of just a lot of pain and a lot of anger, and like what I saw out of you was it was just a lot of anger and like hopelessness. Uh, what do you want to get out of all of this besides the justice part? What did you want to get out of all of this?
Um, Really, what I wanted to get out of this is just being able to express the situation, getting more people to know about what happened. I feel like for my own mental and emotional anguish, just being able to, get some of this stuff off my chest and have other people interact and understand what has happened to me was wrong. And I feel like a lot of people, at first I felt like people were gonna make fun of me, or, oh, why is she talking about this, like, it's not serious, everybody goes through stuff all the time. But
That doesn't
I
make
feel
it
like I've
okay.
always
That does
I'm
not make it
sorry.
okay. It does not make it okay.
Yeah. And I felt like that, that doesn't make it okay for, this to be swept under the rug. And I feel like people were going to feel a certain type of way about me because I am an actress and I do model and I do these things on the side. And I feel like people would think I was weak to be talking about this. But every single day, almost every other day, sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to get over this. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get over it. It happened last November and it's about to be November again. And, I still don't feel like I'm as over it, but I felt like being here tonight on this podcast and speaking my voice, I've always felt like I can be a counselor and advocate for other people that go through similar things, because even at a young age, I've been through a lot of stuff, a lot of traumatic things, and I get myself out of these situations. And I really just, want to touch other people and be able to let other people know that are dealing with these same things, that don't have the heart or the strength or the courage to be able to speak out about their stories and what has happened to them. I wanted to be that outlet for them as well. I wanted to be a voice for other people. And I felt like doing that was going to really help me just release a lot of, this stress and trauma that I've been holding on for these past couple of months, and, even before the incident. So, me getting justice, that's going to be the top
It's
of it
going to happen.
all. But I feel like, me just voicing this and being able for other people to, you know, um, understand and relate to me, and be able to be comfortable in knowing that you're not the only one, or me looking strong on the outside, I'm actually hurting. And
Mhm.
that can carry a long way and it can affect you a lot of ways. So I really just wanted to be able to touch other people and let them know that it's okay to stand up for yourself.
I have one more question
Well,
though.
hold
I
up.
got one more.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay.
I do want to do something, because a lot of people don't agree
Hmm.
with it, but this is me, and this is the way I feel, and this is where I'm gonna do. If y'all see this guy, please hide your daughters, your grandchildren, and your nieces. This guy needs help because he is abusive, and this is what I got to say about him, because it's no right. No, a man is structured too strong to where he can harm a woman. No, I don't believe it's okay for a woman to hit a man, but a man to put his hands on any woman, you're not a man. You're a little boy, and you're a coward. Because if anything, God put you here to protect our women, not to hurt them. So, yes, if
Hmm.
you have any
Hmm.
nieces, any grandchildren, hide them from this man, because his mama is not teaching them right.
Mm-mm. No. Whew. I have one thing. If he was to be on the screen right now, live, what would you want to say to him?
Um, well, I honestly, like, sometimes I think about forgiving him for it. I kind of just, would want to ask him why, because I did trust this man. I feel like, he was really close to me, and out of all people, I felt like he was the one that was supposed to protect me. But in other ways, I felt you would really try to end my life or actually harm me to protect your job. And that's one of the things I just, want to ask him is, like, why would you do that to me? I ask myself that all the time. I talk to God and I sit sometimes and I'm just like, why would he want to do that to me? And on the other hand, I don't want to say anything. Sometimes I feel like if I ever saw him again, I don't know what I would do, but I don't think it would end very well because I've, just been struggling so much mentally and emotionally, all because of this person. But I feel like I have been getting in a place to where I can forgive for what happened, but I just won't ever forget it. And I just, constantly just would like to know why, he would feel the need to want to in my life to protect his job.
Mm, 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 mm.
I
What do you
know personally, I would say personally, you probably would never get that answer. And the reason why I say that because he probably don't know why himself. He doesn't realize who he is. And a lot of
Mhm.
them do not take responsibility for their actions because he could say, I'm sorry, but he'll twist it to where it's your fault.
Yeah.
Don't never think it's your fault. You did not deserve to be hit on. You didn't deserve to go through that. And what I
Mm-mm.
want you to do, I want you to start your steps by getting some help because this is a long process. Like I tell people, it don't have to take as long as it did me. But the Women and Children's Battered Shelter, they provide free counseling. They're very understanding. They care. They help me. The tools that they give, they apply them, and it helps you to find peace. To forgive is not for him. The forgiveness is for you. It's not something that you'll ever get over, but you'll know how to deal with because it's just like a scar. It might heal, but it will be a reminder. But
It
anything,
won't hurt so
just
bad.
it won't hurt as bad. But my thing is, if anything, be the example for. I don't know if you have any kids or anything. Do you have any daughters or sons?
No.
Okay. Well, the day that do come, I thank God you don't have no kids by him. But the day they do come, you want to be able to be strong enough and wise enough to protect your own daughter and your son. Because with my daughters and sons, I had to tell both sides, because at the same time, it hurt them to see their mother get beat down like that. I had to apologize for them being exposed to that. Then I had to learn how to love myself and then get help. And once I really was able to deal with that, I was able to face my abusers and tell them I forgive them. And that's how I was able to keep stepping forward. But the other important thing is not to repeat the cycle and make it a pattern. So just make sure you find that healing. Just don't let it keep dwelling, because as what I have seen the outcome of people that don't get help and be able to deal with it, they end up becoming angry. And this is part of the process. If you get angry, it's okay. If you hurt, it's okay. It's part of the process of healing.
Just don't stay there.
It's going to be
Don't just
there.
stay there.
It's a wound. It's called a wound. It's a scar.
Mhm.
It's going to be there. But be able to heal yourself so you can help heal others to escape. And I'm going to turn it over to Denise. I think Dwight needs to
Right.
let Dwight say something, and we go back to
And that can go on forever.
Like I say, I agree with you on what you said. But I just want her to stay encouraged, keep pursuing it, surround yourself with a lot of strong people, keep people around you that's gonna be strong and have your back and everything. It's kind of hard doing things by yourself. I mean, the strongest people need people, a support group or people around them. So I'm praying for you also for your protection, because just like you said, it could have been him in there. You made the right decision to leave out the restaurant. Not hoping, saying that he's trying to come down here and stalk you or nothing like that, but praying that everything goes all right for you. But like I said, protect yourself at all times, because if the police not going to do things, you're going to have to protect yourself. And hopefully things will work out. Like I said, just keep strong people around you and people that's going to have your back, because that's what's going to help pull you through and everything. You need some
Mhm.
strong behind you.
Thank you.
Like I told you in that front of that parking lot, in front of that clinic, I said, you're meant to do something. And if your story can help many other people, and I'm sure it will, especially that you're telling that you're not alone. A lot of us, unfortunately, have more women than not that gone through or going through something similar like you, or even worse. Some of them can't even talk no more because they're not here. So you made it out by the grace of God, and you got a story to tell, and you're telling it, and keep on telling it, and then hopefully this story will get out to someone out there that'll deal with that person, that lady that talked to you crazy in Uvalde. Deal with her, because we don't need no more like that. We don't need it.
Yeah, I agree with Denise. I really feel like those that was in authority position need to be stepped down because you
Mm-hmm.
could be, by you ignoring and feel like you overwhelmed or you're tired, could actually be costing the life of somebody else. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to be in a position like that, you have to look at things that when you go home and look at your daughter, that could be mine. What would I do? How would I feel?
Mm-hmm.
How would I fight for my daughter in order to keep her from getting in this situation or to get out of this situation? Because I'm pretty sure she would have want this man behind bars for what he did. He should have had some type of punishment for what he did. Because what all they did was make it okay for him to abuse the next person. And that's not okay
Yep.
at all.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they call it the brotherhood, protecting my brother.
But see, if you love your brother, you protect him by doing what's right. And doing what's right was making
Mm-hmm.
sure to correct him when he's wrong.
Yep. But they're
That's
not
what
going to
brothers
do
do.
that. They're going to protect.
They're not
A
gonna do
lot
that.
of them protect each other at all costs. They're going to protect each other.
That's why I say, don't tell me you love me or you're my friend because I take that word lightly. Because in order for you to do that, if I'm doing something wrong, you gotta sit there and save me. Save me meaning not taking up for me when I'm wrong. You're not protecting me. You're not helping me.
Nope.
You're taking me down a path that is could be destruction because one day he's gonna put his hands on the wrong woman and he's gonna be 6 feet under. I've seen it happen.
The wrong one. That's why I
So,
tell you, watch that movie, Burning Bed. Watch that
Lorena
movie.
Bobbitt. Yeah, but I
Burning
appreciate.
Bed. You remember that movie, Sarah Fawcett?
Yeah,
The Burning Bed?
yeah, yes, I do.
Yeah, that's a movie on about abuse.
Yeah,
And
but
they wouldn't
do
take it seriously.
but do keep in contact with us. We would like to know how this come out. If you need any help from
Yeah.
us, you have my number. Your number is locked in my phone.
Hmm.
So, just contact us anytime. I'm here. And we'd like to get the story pushed and we want to see something done. I want to see what this attorney's going to do first. I really want to see. He picked up your case. He's speaking out. He needs to push for it
Yep. Push
because
forward.
Texas is supposed
This
to
is
be
serious.
stand now to where they don't take that no more. They don't tolerate any domestic violence, no matter what it is, man or woman.
Hmm.
And it's
Because
sad.
just because he didn't end her, but the next woman he get with might be the one.
Yep. And then what is his mother going to do then? Because she could have been talking to him before then.
Hmm.
That's just the
Yep.
bottom line. But everybody got their own opinion about what a mother is. My kids will tell you I don't pick up phone when they wrong. I don't think so. But I do appreciate you coming on. And what I do want to take the
Yeah.
time to do, I want you, because there's a woman out there and a man out there that could be going through abuse right now, or somebody knows somebody that's being hurt. Could you give them a word to help them out?
Yes. First I want to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be on here and, be able to speak about this. I really say for those men and women out there that are going through the same things, even with me in this situation, always stand up for yourself, always do what's best for you. Never let anybody make you feel like you need them or you're worthless or, that you can't live without them. And always know to put yourself first and to never put anybody over you. Um, and just really always put your best foot forward and never let anybody treat you like you're nothing because you're something. And it's only up from here.
Amen, amen.
Thank you for that. And we really appreciate you coming on. Make sure y'all tune in next Saturday. We don't have the topic yet. Well, we will. Just look out for my post. Don't forget about next month, Domestic Violence Month. If you have a story, we have 4 slots open. 4 slots. So we need 4 people that want to break their silence and tell their story. Please inbox me on Messenger, and or you can email me at theunspokenheart70 at AOL.com, and we can get your story on. Also, we are going to have in the makings of having another poetry contest. Uh, no, that's going to be in January again. Few months off. This year is almost gone. But
Already.
yes, but we appreciate y'all tuning in. We're still deciding whether we're going to withdraw the show from Facebook and just have a YouTube. So far, right now, we're going to keep it as is until we officially make up our minds, because it's actually 5 of us, not just me. So we all got to agree in order to make that step. Thank y'all for tuning on. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you enjoyed the show, and y'all have a blessed day.